Good to roll. I mean,
you said that as soon as you said that.
Right, Ralph, bugger off.
As soon as you said good to go.
Yeah. He just jumped on. You can bugger off, Ralph.
Come on, Ralph.
Chris, you might have to
Who's
cut.
it? Ralph.
Ralph, off.
I like the way Ben just sits there and lets it happen.
No, just I think just stop him from coming in, mate. Yeah. Or just he'll be fine. Pete might jump up, but I think he'll settle. To be honest, he's not too bad. Yeah. But yesterday we had brother-in-law came round with his missus's dog, and she's got this gay dog. I'm not joking, Arthur. Honestly, he comes in, and these two just suddenly start trying to hump him, and honestly, this dog, we've called it Elton John. This dog, it's not actually called Elton John. It's Arthur.
But we're not going to put this.
Yeah. So he's giving off his pheromone.
These are gay dogs.
He's giving off his pheromone. Basically, he started doing it to them first of all, and then they loved it. Yeah, they loved it.
He's turned your
He's turned
dogs.
Pete. He's basically turned him. So I banned the dog now. He's not allowed to come anymore. Yeah.
Dogs turn gay when he's around.
Pete's like it. Yeah.
This is a complete gear change to the last podcast we just
Gay dogs.
Pete's just humping everything now, though. Like, he's just going around.
I told Danny this was a serious
He started doing, I've got to show you the video as well. He started doing this invisible hump as well. So he wasn't even humping anything, but I'll show you.
It's a very horny dog.
weird.
This.
Well, funny enough, my old dog Fergie used to do that. That was a female.
Whoa! Whoa!
Nothing even there.
What a horny dog. It must.
Audio podcast, Ben. Remember?
Oh yeah, sorry.
We're not in it yet, are we?
No, it's just.
Are we putting this bit in? Oh shit!
Right.
Welcome to the Elton John Dog Podcast.
Should we get going?
Let's
Should we
get
stuck
mate.
in?
Yeah, Danny's been waiting.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, welcome to the RUNcensored podcast with me, Ben Mounsey, Gary House, and special guest today, Danny Andrews. Danny, welcome.
Cheers, buddy.
It's great to have you here, mate. You've been waiting a while, haven't you? We've had you in the other room, in the waiting room.
I haven't minded. I've had bills to pay and stuff like that, so I've actually had time to myself to do them. So yeah,
sometimes don't get that, do you? So
I appreciate it.
Oh, well,
so thank you for
That's
keeping
why
me
we set up a green room for the people now.
I'm glad you've turned that into a positive, mate. That's what you're all about as well, isn't it? It's your personality coming through.
Yes, definitely.
It's not usually left to me to organise the guests, so I've told you the wrong time and a later time. I've just completely messed it up, mate.
Just all gone to shit, hasn't it? I mean, Chris is the organised one, so maybe we should get Chris to do the scheduling, really.
Yeah.
But listen, Danny, before we start, just give us a quick intro, mate, to who you are.
Well, I'm Danny. I'm a barber from Preston, but what I'm known for is being like Britain's first ever viral meme. 20 years ago, I was on a BBC Three documentary when I was 16. Because I was a bodybuilder when I was at school, and they did a documentary on me, and then a clip from the documentary about 2 years later went viral in the days of YouTube, like when they first came around, and I became the first internet meme, I guess. So.
First internet sensation. I remember it. I cannot believe it's nearly 20 years ago. It's crazy, isn't it? That's the first thing, when Gary said you were coming on, I couldn't believe. I had to look at the time, and it is almost 20 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, it's BBC Three, wasn't it? Babyface bodybuilders, and you were training to be Cumbria's strongest man.
That's right, Mr. Cumbria. So
Mr. Cumbria,
it's for aesthetics for how you look, not for
Sorry, rather than what you could lift. Yeah.
But back then, bodybuilding wasn't what it is today. Like, it's all over Instagram and that. Like, even me saying I was a bodybuilder back then, no one got it. They were like, "Oh, so you're lifting weights?" I was like, "Well, no, I kind of pause in my trunk," so it sounded really weird. But yeah, I'm from a Barrow in Furness, and it's like you either play rugby or you bodybuild. It's a really working class town, and everybody there. So I've moved to Preston now, and people look behind, like, he's a big lad. But in Barrow, I'm just like I'm just like a normal guy.
When you, because look, I'll give you a bit of background. I wanted Danny on because we've set up a running podcast, but we end up talking about all kinds of stuff. And one of the kind of running themes has been social media. It just keeps getting brought up, doesn't it? And Danny's one of those people that I just think he's always so positive, from my point of view anyway. And because like I'm a running coach, been running for 20 years, but I've also got like friends that I've seen through Instagram or people that you'd think they're just a decent guy. Yeah. And I saw Danny's stuff before he even knew he was the fish and rice cake guy, which actually probably does his head in. But it was like, how mad is it that someone's taken something from 20 years ago, which I assume, like from my point of view, if I'd have gone viral 20 years ago at that age, it wouldn't have been, not through my choice, it wouldn't have been a great thing. So to take... Who was that?
Go and stick him upstairs, Chris.
So to take that and then make something positive of it just summed up my what I thought of you in the first place, to be honest. Is that kind of how it's kind of been?
Yeah, so being a 17-year-old lad, I was kind of like, I was like an in-betweener back then as well.
Yeah.
So it's like you're growing up and you go into parties and you're known as being the fish and rice cakes guy.
I thought of me, again, I thought of myself at 17, 18. I was didn't have a clue what I was doing. Yeah. And from the sound of it, at least you knew you had something like the bodybuilding. But to go viral would have just been mental.
I don't think it went viral straight away, though, did it?
No, it didn't go viral straight away, but it was round about that awkward time when you first start going out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, haha, like, and it was like something that like lads had over. You go to a party and go, it's the fish and rice cakes guy. And I literally hated it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like social media or the internet because of it.
Yeah.
So it'd come out in waves. So Lad Bible would share it. I'd come off Facebook. I didn't even have Instagram. I'd come off it. Because then people would start tagging me and like laughing at. Well, I felt like it was like laughing at me.
Yeah.
In opposed to like laughing with me. Yeah. So I used to be like, oh my god, and I was still kind of that guy. So it's like the narrative's changed. Like, look at him now, but back then it was like, haha, look at him. Yeah. So when people are laughing at me, it's like laughing at me, and it used to really.
I can imagine it did.
It was.
Yeah.
As soon as like I'd go viral again, because it'd like come out like every couple of years, I'd be shaking.
Back then. A lot of people won't remember, but I remember the documentary, because it is just obviously it's a clip from a documentary, and people know more about clips now and things being taken out of context. But to go viral back then, you had to kind of physically send it to someone, didn't you? It wasn't. It's not like an algorithm just took it necessarily. It was. Yeah. This is like people sending it to each other on email or because it was YouTube and stuff like that. So it's physically people sending it out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I've got the clip here if you want to play it for our audio listeners.
Yeah, you can do. Is that?
Yeah, it's just me repeating fishing.
I just assume everyone knows it by now.
For me, 12 o'clock meal. I'll have it with a rice cake.
In the run-up to any competition, Danny's trainer puts him on a strict diet.
8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish
style.
and a rice cake. At 10 o'clock, I'll have fish. At 12 o'clock, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
I actually bought that shirt for the documentary. I thought it was a nice shirt.
4 o'clock, just before I train, I'll have fish and a rice cake. I'll train. I'll have me fish. I'll come home, have some more fish with a rice cake, and then have some fish before I go to bed. And then that's it for the day. Just should start shredding the fat.
It's mad, isn't it, that like nearly 20 years ago, I still remember it. And I messaged my stepson this morning, and I told him you were coming on, and he was like, what a legend. Like, he was so excited about you coming on because he remembers it. And it's weird because things now that happen in social media, they come in and they go out, don't they? Like, something can happen today, and by tomorrow it's almost forgotten about, or by next week it's forgotten about. Whereas this, I think it's because it's one of the earliest ones, wasn't it? Maybe the first one. And
that's exactly it. I think if it came out now, it'd come out for a couple of days, it'd go viral, and then it'd be forgotten about. But because it was one of the first,
plus that's like a normal diet for some of these lads. It's
just like the thing now. And I think people think I look about 40 back then, right? I was only 16. I was like in a weird stage. I wasn't a boy, but I wasn't a man. I went through this weird stage, and I think that because I looked older and people don't know the context, they don't even know I'm a bodybuilder because I don't really look like a bodybuilder.
Because if you hadn't seen the documentary,
you just think
wouldn't know, would you?
No, and you think this guy's crazy, but
But you were in great shape then, weren't you?
I was in unreal shape. I was in better shape than I am now.
Yeah.
But I was ripped, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, with TV, you'll know, like, you put the camera in front of your face, and especially being awkward and 16, they were like, tell us what you eat. And then the next day they'd say, and they followed me around for 3 months to ask us what, and they asked you loads of different things. Instead of me just saying I have 6 meals of fish every other with rice cake, they'd put the question, tell us the times and like when you train. So I'm thinking, So
you can see you thinking.
Yeah, and I am thinking because I wanted to make sure I had the carbs after I trained and first thing in the morning. I should have just said I have 6 meals of fish, every other with a rice cake. But I would not be sat here now.
No,
do you know
that's
what I mean?
true. Actually, yeah.
How mad is that?
I mean, we're gonna talk about how it's impacted on your life. But was that comment taken out of context then as well? Because were you actually eating fish in a rice cake?
No, I genuinely did it for about a week to 2 weeks before a competition. You keep bringing down your carbohydrates.
So it's pre-comp, isn't it?
Pre-comp. And then I was on chicken, changed that to turkey because it got less calories. Then went from turkey to fish because that's got even fewer calories. And then I brought my carbs down to like 0 carbs, 30 grams a day because you don't want to really be going below that. Just in the rice cakes, and I only did it for a short period of time because you carb deplete. Then you carb up, eat loads of carbs, and your muscles fill with glycogen. And you look really well. So there's a science behind it, but they didn't put any of that in.
Yeah. No.
So all that is just that clip.
Yeah, and that's the bit that people remember. So it is taken out of context in that sense, isn't it?
Yeah. I meet somebody now, 20 years on, and they're going, are you still on diet? I was like, I literally had it for, I was on it for 6 days. Do you know what I mean? I think it was about 6 days I was on it, and then obviously you carb up. So yeah,
I think we'd smell you coming if you.
Jesus Christ! So, and the funny thing, I don't like fish. No, I do not like the taste of fish. Probably from that diet. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's better ways to do it than that.
Yeah.
But it did work for.
Don't forget
for what I
though,
wanted to
like
do.
20 years ago, like. Not long after that, I was working in. Funny enough, when I started out doing PT work and stuff myself to get into to work with runners, but I worked in I've said to Ben, it's a spit and sawdust bodybuilding gym, and 9 stone runner. Yeah. It was actually great for me, and it was great for them because there was no ego there. Because obviously, I'm not there to get big. I knew a bit about training, but I also learned about what. To get on stage and to get comp ready and stuff, what the lads were going through and how tough it is. And like you say, the science has moved on probably a lot. Yeah. But at the time, to get on stage and do it, that's like when I watched that, yeah, it was kind of funny. But when you know the context, then it's not funny. And I guess that's equally lucky and unlucky at the same time for someone like Danny because, yeah, the producers have obviously jumped on that.
Yeah.
But if you watch the cold documentary, it's like, that's weird, but...
It didn't even jump out. I didn't even notice. I thought, that bit about the fish was quite funny. Like my mum went, the bit about the fish. And then it wasn't until I was like, I used to walk everywhere because I couldn't drive back then. And someone shouted out the window, fish boy, fish boy.
Is that when you first realised?
Yeah. And I thought, oh shit, yeah, that bit was quite funny. And then people were just remembering that little bit. And then it was probably back a year and a half after it came. Yeah, I'm now the fish and rice cakes guy because I've grown up. But yeah, they used to call me Fish Boy.
Was it on YouTube straight away? Or
no,
because it's about a year and a half after.
About a year and a half after. So I thought I got away with it.
Yeah.
And was it just someone random has uploaded it?
Yeah,
and then it's got shared off the back of that?
Yeah, and he's got millions and millions of views. And
when I just tried to find it on YouTube, there was about 4 people have uploaded the clip natively, and none of them are the BBC or whatever.
Just somebody's just uploaded it, and then it got shared around. And back then, people were saying that I was a meme. I read it as a mimi. I was like, I'm a mimi.
I still say that now, mate, and the wife kicks off. Why you still? No, I call it a meme.
Meme, because it's how you read it.
It's like memo, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I read it as mimi because I can't even read. So yeah, and I was like, well, whatever it is,
because what else was there? I had a
Charlie bit my finger. That was one.
Yeah,
Charlie bit my finger. And mine.
I don't remember how old it was, but I used to. The one that also says his name is Fenton, the dog, because I just love that Fenton one.
Fenton.
Yeah, Fenton, where he's chasing the deer. Have you seen that one?
I've not seen that one.
It's a guy who's walking his dog in Richmond Park, I think, and his dog goes after this deer, and he's just going mental after this dog. And I love it because it's just like one of my dogs, Pete, who was sat in here a minute ago. Is he still there? I don't know.
And it's the name as well, isn't it?
It is the name, yeah, and he's just shouting Fenton across the park. But it's those things, they just stick, don't they? And this is obviously stuck. But how
at the time?
Yeah.
When you were, because you were bodybuilding at that time, yeah. So in the 2 years that it's not really caught fire or anything. Did you just carry on with the bodybuilding and no?
I had a spine operation. I had 2 discs taken out my back, and I've had it fused. So I thought that's it with my bodybuilding. And my granddad died in the same year, so like it was like a pretty tough time. And yeah, I started to not like bodybuilding for a while. So I went off bodybuilding, doing other things. Got into barbering and worked on my business. And then hated being the fish and rice cakes guy because I wasn't even bodybuilding really at the time. And then
I guess there's not a positive to it at that point because
no positive was.
You're being a barber.
Yeah,
you're not. It's not like it's not back then. Maybe you could have had the barber business online or on Instagram or whatever, and you could leverage it. But at that point, you don't want anything to do with it. I imagine.
Yeah, and there was none of this Instagram and social media. It was out.
Yeah,
but it wasn't used how it is today. So people could get businesses from it. You can get you
couldn't monetize it at that point, could you?
You couldn't monetize it at all. So the only thing I got from it was shit.
So it was all negative, wasn't it? It must
negative.
have really impacted on your life because you're young at that point as well. 18 at that point?
19, 20. And I just really didn't like it. And everything I could do it was just like a roll eyes moment. And like I get with a girl and then her older brother would come in and go, I found out, I'll visit you. And I go, yeah. And then it would like literally make me physically shake. Do you know, like... And
did you ever wear that shirt again?
Never. Like an old caravan curtain. It was terrible.
It was all the rage back then, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, like, I generally thought I looked good.
You did back then, mate. You did.
Unfortunately. But yeah, it was very, very tough at the time. And then I got back into training, and I bought a house. Was doing it up, and I wanted these really expensive carpets, like the best ones. And for some reason, it's like, do you know when you say you think of what's that thing like The Secret when you manifest?
Like you manifest it. Yeah.
I was like, I really want that, but I can't justify spending that. Like, and Lad Bible contacted me, and it was like I needed £1,000, and they asked me if I wanted to do this shoot with the Wheelstone Raider.
Brilliant
for £1,000, and I was like, yeah. So I did it, and I got like lots of positivity, like so much positivity. He was embracing it.
Yeah.
So like the Wheelstone Raiders taught me something, and I was like, wow. And then I got asked to do first dates in lockdown.
I watched that.
Yeah. I watched it. And because we weren't allowed out the houses or anything, but because it was classed as work, they said, oh, you can go for a meal. And I thought, nah, not many people watch that. Jesus.
When everyone's sat at home watching telly.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the most watched things everyone. It was in lockdown. So I went, and then I went, and they'd not shown it, and then they asked me back again, but because they've not shown it, I was like, I'll go again anyway. It's an extra day out, so I've been on twice.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. I thought you'd been on twice.
Not even been out yet, so and then I forgot about it, and then when it came out, like literally everyone was like, "Have you seen him now?" And I was like, I'm not going to lie, I loved it. I was like, they were like, oh, and I thought, oh my God. And then wherever I went from that, I think because I'm quite like I've got face tattoos and stuff, so I'm quite distinctive. So I think that people can remember me. So wherever I went, it's a fish and rice cakes guy, but it was like people smiling and people going, legend.
It's like going the other way around.
Yeah, and I was like,
yeah.
What? I'm a legend? And they were like, mate, you are so funny. You make me laugh so much. And I was like, what? And then no one's laughing at me. And I was like, and then I thought, oh my gosh. And then one of my friends who I got the gym with was like, mate, we've got to do something. We've got to do. I was like, oh, no. And then we'd text all the time and we'd send ideas across and stuff. I was like, if I could do a protein rice cake, I'd do it. So we're looking into it, and like literally, we've done it all ourselves. We've got the unit. We do our own merch, and yeah, we've got expos, and it's been doing really well. Because like when you think of rice cakes, if you think of rice cakes, you think fish and a rice cake. Like it's automatic with most people in Britain. So I was like, mate,
especially like our age, we're a few years older than you. I think you're what, mid-30s or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm 41.
Yeah, I'm 44 almost.
Yeah. And it's like I remember doing the rounds, to be honest, but I can't even remember. Yeah, I can't remember. Like you said, it just disappears, but it's always kind of there. If you brought up rice cakes, it would jog your memory.
Yeah, and if you see it on the shelves, you'd be like, oh, a rice cake. And at first, you'd buy it maybe for a gimmick. and then you'd be like, oh my god, it's actually amazing. Which you would. And then so.
And these days as well, like it's protein everything, isn't it?
Yes.
In a shop. So I don't know why I've never seen a protein rice cake before in my life, because my kids love rice cakes, right? And I never say no to them because there's nothing in them, and it's good to give them, pacify them or whatever, yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I never got it. But like looking at yours, I don't understand why it's not been done before. So to do it, to do it as well.
I know.
It's brilliant, mate.
I've got to speak to him about that.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by the fact that this has dominated your life for 20 years, and it's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? It's been up and down many times, and what started out as probably like a negative early on has now turned into just an overwhelming positive, and I'm so happy for you, mate, because you deserve it.
Yeah, such a positive. Like, it's crazy as well. So if you think of it like that as well, I wouldn't be with my girlfriend now, who she's moving in like 2 months' time, but because I got asked to do another dating show.
So this wasn't first dates. This
is called Love Triangle. I did it like 8 months ago, and I only did it. I didn't meet a girl on it. I just did it for exposure for rice cakes. I'm not gonna lie. And my mate was like,
I was gonna say, when was that filmed? Was it? Was it after? You knew you were doing the rice cakes?
Yeah. So my friend was like, my friend's always on me. Can you do content? Can you do content? Because that's what I bring to it, really. He's more of the business side. So, and to be fair, I don't like doing it. It cringes me out. I think I'm 36 years old and I'm dancing around my garden. What am I doing? But I thought...
It's so funny, though, your content. Like, I'll let you talk in a bit. But I can tell the nervous and kind of... You don't really want to do it, but at the same time, he's got such a good personality. He's like through the screen. You want him to win. You want him to. I don't care what you're doing in the gym or whatever. It's almost like, go on, Danny.
But it does cringe me out so much. I think,
you can tell he's cringing.
What am I doing? But and it does make me nervous. And then I'm thinking, and then I think I've got this thing at the back of my head, like, am I going to get laughed at again? Do you know, because I have been.
Yeah.
Psychologically, it must stay with you as well all the time.
And I'm so scared of not being liked or saying the wrong thing. Because like when I was on this show, I was thinking, edit. Like, I blamed the other edit, so I was thinking they're trying to make me say that. Yeah. Then I was thinking they're not trying to.
They want to sensationalize. You're thinking they want to sensationalize parts of this,
but I know that they're not. But it was like, that was what was in the back of my head.
I think you're lucky in the fact that you had that 20 years ago, went viral, and that's what it is almost like the in, and that's why some people are contacting you. But you're lucky that you've got a good personality, and you'd be good crack anyway.
Yeah, but I totally understand. I wouldn't be sat here, or I wouldn't be on that dating show if it wasn't for that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The reasons why they want me, but like, I've just got to use it for the best of my ability now.
But that might not always be the case as well. Like, on a smaller scale, I've done jobs in running, and Ben will know, people want me because I've got a certain persona on my Instagram, and kind of thing, right? Or I might be seen as a straight talk, or I'm going to rip into someone, or whatever it is, right? Whereas actually, you might not be there to do that, or it doesn't fit, or something like that. So sometimes you get offered these jobs and you think, I just know what they're going to ask. They want me to be someone that's not going to fit that situation or something. Do you get loads of that kind of stuff?
Well, that's why when I was younger, I did get offered lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
But then they'd ask me to do something, and I go, is it to do with fish and rice cakes? They'd be like, and then I'd be like, I'm not interested. So I
slam the phone down.
Yeah, I'd ask to do a show, and I'd be like, why would they want me? Because like, I've got nothing else to give. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, is it to do with it? They'd say, yeah, and I go, not interested. And then but then now I'm like, it's obviously got to do with fish and rice cakes. I'll do it.
You don't embrace, aren't you?
Yeah, because I've got something. I've got loads out of it. So I went. I'll get back to my story with the girlfriend. So I went and did the show, and I thought I'll do it just for clips. Do you know, so I could. So I don't have to do content. I did it, and it was the hardest thing. Like these reality shows. Oh my gosh! Like these people on the reality shows, they're not your normal people, and they get them for a reason. And when I'm at a dinner party and I'm one of the most normal people, know that there's a room full of crazy people. There's 18 people, and I was literally like this.
Did you feel like you depth for them all? Like, so I've been in a nut house.
It was one of the hardest, toughest things I've ever had to do. It sounds extreme, but I swear to God. But I met Sadie, my girlfriend, on it, and I'm an extrovert, she's an introvert, and I've never gone for introverts. I thought they're too quiet for me. And I've always gone for crazy girls, and then it's not worked because they're too crazy.
Yeah. Like fire meets fire.
Yeah, but I've always thought that you've got to go for someone that's like you. And she was into poems, and she loves staying in, writing poetry, talking about her feelings, star signs. I was thinking, she hates the gym. Right? And I was thinking, wow, if you wrote that down on paper, I'd be like, we are not a match.
I'm out.
Yeah. But like emotionally and stuff like that, like we get on. I've never been good at speaking about my feelings and stuff, and she really helps me speak about my feelings, and I've never had a connection with somebody ever like that. And I think with the show, we would never have give each other the time of day. Like she says that she'd have looked at me and I'd have cringed her out. She said she'd have judged me. She said, "You're full of tattoos. I was very orange because for the show I thought I need a tan." She said you were bright orange, full of tattoos. It's like not for me. And in the gym, she said she judged guys. She had a preconceived idea of guys that went to the gym, and she was like, "Yeah, you are not my type." So yeah, we would never have met. So I owe that to the fish and rice cakes thing, because without it, I would never have met her. So. Yeah.
It's worked out really well.
It's worked out really well.
When did you know you'd clicked then? Was it just an instant? It wasn't an instant thing in terms of like.
Obviously, she was absolutely stunning. As soon as I seen her, I was like, wow, she's unreal. But yeah, just talking to her, we both said, like, at first, we're just here for a good time. Like, and I said that to her, I was just honest. Yeah. And she said she respected my honesty. And if something happened, it happened. And then the more we chatted, it was like, wow, that's a tick in that box. And that was a tick.
Was she there to get a fella kind of thing? Was she 100% in, or was she in there to have fun? Or...
A bit like that. She's an influencer, so her job is social media.
Yeah, so she'd been asked to...
she got asked to do it and thought, I can get a few reels from it. It's 2 weeks away, paid.
That almost is like, from an outsider, that sounds like a better way to go in, maybe sometimes, than going in thinking, I'm 100%, I need to find someone. Because you're going in a bit more relaxed. She's in relaxed. And then you've just hit it off.
Yeah. And I think, we're just totally open and honest. And then I've done like all the other little celebs go dating and stuff like that. And it's all fake. But I think that the bigger shows, like your Love is Blind, your Love Triangle, this is like, Love Triangle, it's a bit like, this is how people say, you're on a dating show with you? I'm like, yeah, it's like...
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. There's only undateables left. All of on the spectrum, I do well on that. But I was like, the one I've just done is like, I was like, do you know Love Island? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I worked on that. If you ordered that from Temu, I was on that one.
I worked on that Married at First Sight last year, and that was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
to think that people are actually going to get married. They have to commit to get married, 5 couples. They're like crazy.
But the thing is, though, it's that intense, though. I think that it's all real. People say to me, that can't be real. And I'm like, it is real. Yeah. Like, how I felt was real. My first match was because I didn't feel the same about her. She like had a vendetta against me. But the way it made me feel was real feelings. Like, obviously, when you come out of it, you're like, obviously, you don't have to speak to him again. But when you've got no phone, no social media, no TV, you're with them, and they'll like say, "Oh, we're going to do this task today, this task." So the only person in that world is that person that you're matched with. So it's very intense. So that's why when I met Sadie, it was only 2 weeks, but we ate together, we slept together, we did everything together. So it was. I knew her more in 2 weeks than I knew my girlfriend.
Yeah. It's a real crash course of getting to know each other, isn't it? That
yeah.
Tense situation.
When you I'm going to rewind a little bit because I want to check on this. When like you won't know this, but like these lads know. When I moved to Manchester, to be a hairdresser. So I was a woman's hairdresser.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I originally wanted to do. Yeah, and I know that's your background as well.
Yeah.
And you went into barbering. At the time, I was working at Tony and Guy and Nicky Clark and these places. Yeah, and it didn't get to the point where I made it full career because at the time I was getting into the running as well, and those two kind of lifestyles didn't mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what pushed me into the personal training side of things. But what I loved about the hairdressing was I'd get in and I just had good fun all day because it was like whether I was washing hair for a bit or whether I was learning cutting the hair and stuff. I was just chatting all day and I loved that side of things. When you were doing that, because I'm assuming that's what you were doing when this all happened, were you kind of worried about who was going to come in or who you were going to meet or how you were going to be seen and how it was going to affect your job? Because I think like Because that's the other thing. You've done so well to keep that as your business, because you're front facing day after day after day. Was it a hindrance? Was it help? Or were you worried about it?
Like now I can see how it can I'd use it to my advantage. So if I went to a new city, I'd maybe ring the local paper and be like, it's the fish and rice cakes guy, I've got a new barbershop now. And then, because they're not going to post me ringing up, I'm Danny Andrews, I'm a barber and I've just opened up there.
Yeah.
So I'd use it for my advantage. But back then, no, I hated it. And to be fair, it was like, I'd been a bodybuilder and it was like very like macho and I get on really well with women. So I did women's hairdressing at first. And yeah, I love talking to people, and how it happened was I was scaffolding. Right? I was a labourer scaffolding, and I used to come home with like chafing because my jeans were wet and it was raining, and I was knackered and I'd hardly earned any money, but I was literally shattered. And my girlfriend at the time was a hairdresser, and I used to pop into her hairdresser's after work, have a coffee, and watch her chat to her friends and cutting hair. And I used to say, "I'd love your job," and then she'd go, "Do it then." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Do it. Go to college." And I was like, I was like, all right then. So yeah, I ended up going to college. Brilliant. And then I turned up for so there was the nicest hairdressers in Barrow, right? Really, really, really posh. I went in all muscular, and he virtually laughed at me for their apprenticeship, right? So I literally didn't eat, right? Went running, didn't go to the gym for ages, went back with a little scarf on, right? All dressed up. I was like, I've come for the apprenticeship. He gave me it, right? And no. He was like, right. And then when he realised what I'd done, I'd said I've dieted down because obviously I didn't have the look. He was like, I love that. He said, that shows
commitment.
He gave me the job. Within 3 weeks, I was massive again. I love it. I just went back to the gym, pumped up, but I ended up taking him to the gym with me. But then when I moved to Preston,
don't know if he'd get away with that kind of discrimination these days. But
he was dead honest. He was like, "Yeah, you've not got the look for the shop, and like, you know, there's lots of women that come in." And I was like,
I'd say that's the exact look you wanted.
They used to scare the crap out of me because like I was like terrible with women. And like a woman had come in, and I remember I was like, "You're tall." She went, "Same size, lying down." And I was like washing her hair, right? And I remember shaking, thinking, "Oh my god!" So they used to flirt. They used to flirt with me a lot. And then when I moved to Preston, I just did barbering and thought, because I started moving towards barbering, doing all my friends in Barrow. And then I got a job at a barber's, and I was like self-taught barbering, to be fair, and I love it. I chat to my friends.
It's still quite early to go move into bar. I know there's barbers and people. It's like a cool job now and everything, isn't it? Cool, but it wasn't then, was it? I remember.
No, people thought I was gay.
Yeah.
So I'd be cutting a lad's hair, and he'd go, "My dad said you're gay." I was like, "Really? Why?" "Because you're a barber." I said, "That's not gay, mate." That's not what you do when you're gay.
Isn't it?
I was like, yeah, especially coming from Barrow and Furness, it's like a very working class town. So if you do anything outside the norm, you're a weirdo. And to be fair,
and not that it matters, but like I didn't tell my mates when I'd shifted career for like 6 to 8 months or something, and it was only when one of them found out. One of them found out, and then I took them for a drink after work, and obviously there was me plus 8 of the girls that I work with, and it's like, oh, actually, it's not that bad, Gary.
Gayest job ever.
Yeah.
Went the other way then, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I used to I'd be in college as well, chatting to my mates on doing the construction course, right? I'm like, "See you later." I'd be sat with all the girls, and they'd all be like, Danny, sit over here, come over here. And my mates would be like, "I'm so jealous of you," and I'd be like, "Yep."
So when you're moving through and you're doing the barbering and everything, was there anything? And like you've said, it keeps cropping up now and again. Would your heart sink, or would you have a laugh about it? Or?
No, it would sink, and all my friends close to me, would be like, if someone brought it up, they'd be like, shh, 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 shh.
Yeah.
And I think the more that it's like exposure, isn't it? The more that you quiet it down, everyone's pussyfooting around you. It made like a big deal.
The elephant in the room, isn't it?
Yeah. And honestly, the best thing I ever did was embrace it and turn it into. Yeah, I think it's just. I don't think even that has changed. It's probably the way I've thought about it's changed.
Was there a definitive point where you thought, I'm going to make this work for me? Because obviously, before that happened, I bet if somebody had said to you, if you could go back in time and not do that show,
I would have definitely done that.
You'd have written it off. But
1,000,000%.
Has that changed now, that question?
1,000,000%. If you'd have told me I'd sit and wear a Fish and Rice Cakes t-shirt, I'd be like, no way. Like, I'd be upset if one of my friends told somebody, like, it. Yeah, and it is actually crazy to me.
Timing's everything as well, isn't it? Because if you'd have brought out that 20 years ago, who's going to buy a protein rice cake 20 years ago?
Yeah, I honestly do think though, if I could do my time again, I would have, from the show, done actual YouTube, uploaded it myself, and then started off how I've just done the last 2 years. Then, because I was in so good shape,
because you could have been the person uploading the YouTube rather than that other person.
Yeah, I could have been that, and then from that, I could have lent into this straight away. But who was I to know?
But at the same time, like you obviously don't want to be. Obviously, you love barbering and that kind of thing, but you don't want to be the social media guy as well, do you? So you could have ended up backing yourself into a corner and having to create content every day for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
and you might have had more money at the end of it, maybe. But at the same time, now you've got a great business.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you've got a great life, and you've got a missus and everything, and now you've got this thing that hopefully it goes massive.
And I won't have to be doing videos. This is the dream is just to then post for myself kind of thing, and okay, that's pretty cool. But at the moment, it's like, oh God, my mate's texting me going, mate, you've got to do another video, and it's like they don't come naturally to me.
Is it in the back of your mind, like you're always thinking about it, and it's
and because it's like that's what I've got to do. I feel guilty if I don't, and then I do get very nervous, even just sending it, and then I'm looking, seeing, has it got good views, and then has it got people going to rip me? Because I do get. If you put yourself out there, you'll get bad comments, I'm guessing. Do you?
This was going to be one of my questions, actually. Yeah, like because there's always somebody who's got a negative comment on social media, isn't there? Always.
It's weird, really, with me. Like my content's changed and stuff, and it's. I'll go through sometimes for whatever reason, I don't know why. There'll be loads of crappy comments, but there's also loads of comments that are. What I also don't like, the nature of what I put out, sometimes there's a bit of a pile on and stuff where I'm honestly putting a lot of it out there for fun and everything. And then you see people in the arguments and they're piling on each other and you're like, what? Like, that's
not too deep. It's not.
No, that's exactly. That's not really what I set out to do. So sometimes, like, as my account got bigger, I did start to check myself in terms of what I don't want is someone to have. I don't want to ruin someone's day or week by it necessarily, right? Sometimes I'll put something out because it is funny, and they probably had it coming. yeah. Like we've spoke about.
Oh, I found that really funny.
yeah. But I always think if it happened to me, if I saw myself out there, whatever, I'd like to think I'd laugh about it, because there's only stuff out there that I only do running on social media, really, or play shit golf or whatever. So if people, if it's bad comments, I'm really not asked. It's not my nature. It's not my personality. It's not. Like if it's not like as if Ben or one of my good mates is coming up to me and said, "You've been a knobhead today."
That'd hurt more, wouldn't it?
Exactly. That would affect. I would never want to set out if some stranger who doesn't like. I didn't ask you to watch it or comment on it. I don't care. I think I'm quite lucky. It doesn't affect me, mate. When I had 100 followers versus 100,000 followers, I put out what I'm confident that I like.
Yeah.
We had a really good discussion with Paul Mort on that particular point, didn't we? And if anybody's new to the podcast or it's the first one they've listened to, go back and have a listen to our couple of episodes we put out with Paul Mort, because he had a really good take on that and how to deal with the negativity and stuff, and also how not to get too affected by social media. So yeah, if that's one you want to listen to, just flick back a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It doesn't affect me now. And I know that, and even I don't let the good comments get to my head, because I think if you can't listen to the bad ones, and like you said, if you're happy with a post, I think post it, and if it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. If you're happy with the post, so post for you, and then you're not judging your worth by likes. And because a lot of people do, they put a video, is it done well? Is it done well? And then if it's done shit, they'll feel bad about themselves. And I think that's where I don't want it. I'm making something, and then I make it and think, you know what, that says a bit about my brand. I'm myself in it, so you can't argue with it. And I'm going to put it out. And then I know that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
No.
Like, I've got a horrible laugh, which I hate. And people pick up on that, so I know that. They're going to say that I've got turkey teeth, which I haven't. And they're going to say something about I've had a hair transplant. Do you know, they say the same kind of things. So they've already said them now. So when
hopefully those things don't bother you, so it's not.
No, so I can't really. I think that what would upset me is if they were like maybe. I feel like I'm very self-aware, and if they picked up on something that I wasn't...
If they said they tasted like shit, that would be...
that would kill me. But that never happened. That's never happened, by the way.
Is this a good time to crack them open, though?
Yeah, get 'em
so
open,
just for the people listening and watching, we've got a couple of packs of Danny's protein rice cakes here.
Oh yeah,
I love the way you branded it as well, mate. You've got the old school picture of yourself on that original YouTube video, haven't you? 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock,
Danny's
12 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Cake.
Brilliant, mate. These are really, really good. Yeah.
When
I won't munch them just yet, though. I will have
What
straight
flavour have you got
after.
there, Ben? What flavour have you got there?
Oh, white chocolate and milk chocolate.
Yeah, I've got white chocolate.
When you're putting your content out there, right? So like, someone taught me something that helped me is, what I really liked is how to make this stuff, like how to make a video, whether it's sound, video, the quality, how to structure it so that it grabs people's attention and stuff like this. So my whole thing is, what am I doing? Am I teaching them something? Am I trying to make them laugh? Am I giving them value? That kind of stuff. So every video that I do, I set up like that. So I'm trying to make those videos, some of them are quite throwaway, right? But some of them, I set them up, or the structure of them, and I'm trying to improve it, or at least keep it to a standard. And I think once I do that, then I don't care what comments come below it, because I know that video was better than the last one, maybe, or at least at the same standard. You can't really chase the algorithm, but as long, like you said, if you're putting out stuff that's about me and it's about it's about my brand, people can't argue with that. So the numbers might matter for sales, but the numbers will come if you keep doing what you're doing.
I think that people get too scared of failing or looking silly.
Yeah.
I think that the more you post, the better it's going to be, and one of them will hit an algorithm or something like that. And if you're just happy with your content, you've just got to do it and take your ego out of it. That's what I felt.
It's really good advice, because it does get to a lot of people, and I'm sure we've all been there where Gary's just eating that and enjoying it, aren't you? But you know, in like social media now, it can take over people's lives, can't it? For the bad part of it as well, you know, because you can get hung up on, you know, people's comments, and for probably a time you probably didn't you, for a bit? Because I've done it before.
Oh, I used to
on a smaller scale, you know.
I used to read the comments, and my mum, bless her, she'd reply to every single negative one and be like, she'd say he's thick as anything. Like, I thought fish was brain food, and like my mum would. He got 6 GCSEs. And I'm like, Mum, stop it. Yeah. You're making it worse. So she'd reply to them all and like get really offended. But then now... I'm Einstein.
Love it.
But yeah, I've had to, and now I can see it. I can see it so much more clearly. But it has taken 20 years.
Yeah. What was there a point where the light just switched, almost like when you realised you wanted to get, you know, monetize this in a way? Gradually.
I think.
Did your mate play a part as well?
My mate. Yeah. So because my mate,
I've spoke to similar people that. And I know so many people have got good ideas, but they never have the push to do it.
That's my friend. So my friend was like, we've got to do this. And I was like, mate, no. And I don't believe in myself either. I guess I'm quite, it'll never work. People are not interested. But just giving all the excuses, it probably would work. We'd have a drink. We'd probably smash it. And then the next day, when it came to it, because it's like, I've invested my own money in this, you know, so it's a big deal.
That tastes brilliant, by the way. I don't like rice cakes.
I'm going to have mine after this, because I won't stop eating. That's my fear if I start on that.
Like, the texture is not like a rice cake to me.
No, and it's light, isn't it? And it's, low calorie. You're hitting your protein goal. Yeah, low carbohydrates.
So that's what, 15 grams?
15 grams of protein.
What is it, whey protein in it?
Yeah.
But it was your friend who sort of said, you know, forget about the negative on socials as well. Like, just kind of post for you and post for the right reasons and forget about it.
Pushed me into it, really. Yeah. And then what I'm bringing is I know barbering business, but he doesn't even know business, but he was like, we should do it. So it's like we've given each other confidence, where I said, right, well, I suppose if I posted, I reckon I could get some views and stuff. So yeah, I've kind of been pushed into doing it, and the more I've done it, I've been like, all right, people have been responding really well to it, and I just have to keep reminding myself, like, it's still nerve-wracking. I still don't enjoy. My girlfriend enjoys doing it, and she's creative, and she doesn't mind it all.
She got loads of ideas for you now.
Yeah, she sent. That's what I paid a couple of bills, and when you left me waiting, she'd sent me a load of ones of ideas, templates on TikTok. So I've been making them and putting my videos into files, because I've not got time to do any of that normally, because I work 6 days a week as a barber.
Are you putting, because you've got Danny's account, yeah, Danny, you're just Danny Andrews, aren't you, on your Instagram account?
Yeah, Danny Andrews.
Then you got Danny's fishing,
Danny's rice cakes,
Danny's rice cakes,
Danny's barbers.
Oh, you've got Danny's Barbers as well. And are you running all 3?
Yeah.
Mate, yeah.
I'm running that as well as I work 6 days a week at the barbershop.
Yeah.
I'm fully booked. I try and make content in that time. I'm trying to do TikTok lives. I've got into doing that. I'm trying to do at least 15 minutes 3 times a week of that. Try to see my girlfriend who lives in Bristol.
Are you doing that thing where you wax their faces and peel it off? Because that's all I seem to see on Reels at the moment.
I do that. I do wax noses, ears, eyebrows, guy brows, I call them. But yeah, we do it all.
Brilliant.
The with the rice cake stuff, because you had a decent account anyway, didn't you, on Instagram?
Yeah, I never really tried with it.
I was going to say, but were you just sharing your own training and stuff at that point?
I just had an Instagram like a normal person.
Yeah.
And every so often I'd maybe just, not even for anybody else, I'd just do a video of me, I don't know, at the gym lifting a weight. And it was just because I thought it was pretty cool. Like,
so then you made a conscious decision, I'm going to bring out these rice cakes.
A year ago, yes. And then...
So it's only been a year since you've been trying to pump out content, basically.
Yes. And people have been saying, like today, I'm doing this, I'm going to clip it up.
That's why it's not easy to get everyone onto a podcast, really, and we want to make sure that people get value just from coming on.
Yeah,
that's why we do it in person, and we can clip it up, and at least bare minimum you get some decent clips out of it.
Yeah, and
kind of thing. But hopefully you get more out of it than that. But
yeah, well, I've just started just saying yes to things.
Yeah.
So a year ago, I just thought, when I get asked to do something, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good approach to life. I love your positive attitude as well, mate.
And
honestly,
even if nothing does come of it, I've met you two guys. Don't you think? There's always something, or one person that's a runner might get into eating my rice cakes and tell another runner. Do you know?
I'm lucky enough to know people in different worlds and stuff. So like when I got chatting to you a little bit on Instagram, and what I value is. And what I think other people will is we talk so much about, or I think other people talk about the negatives of social media, and you have got negatives, but turn it into a positive, and now you're like, right, I'm going to make this a positive. You're not just waiting for something to happen. Now you're putting yourself out there. I think it's good for whether it's someone like me trying to make it in running and stuff, whether you're just someone who's putting out content at the start, because people. Let's be honest, it's a legitimate kind of career, I guess, to go down the route of putting out content, right?
And it's quite a big thing in the running world now where people are creating content, whether it's for sponsorships or whether it's for themselves or to further their career. Like, it's a big part of running.
And we can be quite... The running community is like you don't really see the outside, but there's people like Danny and stuff that are making a success of, you had this one thing years ago, but I guess... From my point of view, in 5 years' time, people might not even remember that.
That's
that
what
at all.
I'm creating a brand.
It'd just be Danny's,
right?
Whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to turn the meme into a brand.
You flipped it on its head, haven't you?
Yeah, then soon, once I'm in talks with pickers and stuff for supermarkets, then I can step back.
Yeah.
And then it's a brand then, and then maybe go back to just posting for fun.
Yeah.
But I think that what the being the fish and rice cakes guy's done, it just gives me opportunities, and then where I wouldn't say yes to them, I've been saying yes, and since I've been saying yes, everything's been going better.
It's giving you a platform to start.
Yeah, and I feel that if you've got a platform, even with it helps with my barbering, because I don't advertise my barbering, I don't need to. But if let's say I did on one of my pages that's not my barbering page, and I put who wants a haircut, people, I'm gonna get a haircut off the fish and rice cakes guy.
Yeah,
it does work. Or I could go on my TikTok where I've got like 140,000 followers and go on a live and go, anyone want a haircut? Like, I'll always earn money. So, I think that's down to being known. And I think if you've got a niche, which I guess that's what it is now, or like, I think you should take it with both hands, even if it's negative, and try and switch it into a positive aspect.
Also, like, you wouldn't be full if you weren't a good barber as well.
Oh, there's that as well.
You know
you couldn't get away with being shit,
exactly. So you know you're a good barber.
It helps with it.
What you should, like, hopefully what this does is build your confidence up as well, because you've obviously, like, you know how to train, like you kept yourself in great shape from a young age. You've been a barber for 12 years. You're putting these out now. It's like at some point you've got to be confident that
give yourself some credit.
Give yourself some credit, mate. Yeah, because like otherwise, you just end up on that train of putting stuff out and worrying about it. And I know it sounds like you're in a better position now, but also like just I'm naturally. It's not that I'm confident. It's just that I don't think I care that much.
I'd love to be like that.
Yeah, exactly. So when I meet someone like you, it's like you should have way more confidence in yourself, mate. And just keep rolling with it.
And I think when you're in the thick of it as well, you sometimes forget to reflect and look at what you've achieved, don't you? As well, like you've achieved a lot. Like it's been a whirlwind of a story that, because I only know you as a fish and rice cake guy, but like the fact that what you've done on that journey, you've been through the negative, you've flipped it into positive, you've now got this business. It's amazing. It's like really, really inspiring. And you can apply that to so many different parts of anybody's life, can't you?
Yeah. When you say it like that, it does sound pretty good. But yeah, I feel like I'm still at the beginning of what I want out of I want to be everywhere with the rice cakes. I like, even so, people were making money from me, which I didn't like as well.
Yeah. So that was going to be a question of mine. Like when sometimes when like YouTube and stuff like this is a good example, but there'll be other examples that people leveraging you or making money off the back of stuff. It's like that's the stuff that.
Yeah, I think that's what was infuriating my friend more than me. So I think that's where he was like, bro, and he went on this thing and he was like, they brought Christmas jumpers out, there's cups. He was like, we've got to do it. So I was like.
Oh, so people were making like merchandise
off the back of you.
And
he was like, getting any royalties.
No, and my friend thought I was. So we.
No way.
Yeah. So then now I've copyrighted my name and the fish and rice cakes. People bringing out songs. Like honestly, there's
madness,
crazy stuff. There's a song called "Fish and a Rice Cake," and it's
Is it mixing in all your quotes?
No, they wrote it. But this is in America, in Arizona. They've been to the UK. And they used to say it between themselves. So they've got a song called Fish and a Rice. So if you go on Instagram and when you type in Fish and a Rice Cakes into the music, it goes Fish and a Rice Cake, and they've got a full song. Like, but there's so much out there which you're like, if you look deep into it.
Guess what our intro's going to be today?
Fish and a Rice Cake.
So the social media for this episode just got a whole lot easier, right?
Fish and Rice Cake song to number 1. But I got nothing from it. So yeah, I did a Christmas jumper this year, and yeah, they sold out.
Wow.
They sold out, and yeah, it was crazy. And then we do well with cups. We do shakers, we do t-shirts, shorts. So they're just like a sideline. But the main thing is the rice cakes.
This really is a start of something pretty big, though.
What's
isn't
the
it?
website for this?
Danny'sRiceCakes.co.uk.
Easy, yeah.
Easy to remember.
What I wanted to speak to you about as well, before we keep talking about this, is we started. One of the main reasons we chatted is one of the reels I put out, and it was that guy's fit check. Yeah, and it all kicked off, and I got messages about it and voice notes and all sorts. And sometimes when I put those skits out, I hope that whoever sees it, if they do see it, that they have a laugh at themselves, because it is a laugh to me, right? And yeah, I got loads of heat on that, voice notes and all sorts and stuff like that. And Danny was one of the ones I said, yeah, hopefully it was just a laugh, mate, kind of thing. And what I don't want to see is, like, I don't want to, like, the guy obviously kept himself in good shape and things like that. And I don't want everyone that keeps himself in good shape and goes to the gym and is big and everything to think that I'm just ripping into that kind of thing. Because you could equally do it about me being a lightweight runner or whatever.
It's a stereotype, but unfortunately that guy actually is the stereotype.
Exactly.
So, like, I know I look like that, so you could be like, look at that cringe. And I was saying off camera that I turned up to a race and I had a fit check on, right? And I'd been training for a 10K, but I didn't know I didn't know the difference. I was training on tarmac and like just on the streets, and it was a trail run in the Lake District, right? Yeah. And I had Nike Zoom trainers, which are like platform trainers,
like the
right?
big alpha flies.
Big massive platforms, right? I turned up with the vest on, the sunglasses, the little straw. Like, I looked at the back, I come out of the car, I was like, yeah. And like people like middle-aged mums and stuff like sniggering at me, right? I'd sprained my ankle straight away because it was like a platform trainer, and people were like, they look nice, but that's not the right one. And then when the gunfire went off, because I sprinted off, didn't I? The adrenaline got to me, right? I did a hill, right? My legs are
imagine seeing Danny
gone, right? Well, then at the end of it, people were in hysterics, like, "Oh, we knew you weren't going to do well, especially with that start." And then, and they were like women that I would never have thought. They just looked like my mum, right? They were hammering me. They were flying past me. I was like a bull mastiff at the back, like, this is hard. It was like soul destroying. Like, I was practicing. I actually trained for like 2 months.
Has anybody got footage of this? Because we need to
Danny, this is gold. This is like an advert for Fell Running. This is gold.
With the marathon being yesterday, there was that marathon clip where that guy went off the front, wasn't there? And he's looking at the cameras and waving at everything, and he literally sprinted. And it sounds like
there
you.
was like running clubs round me.
What race was it, Danny? Can you remember what race it was?
It was Lakes. What was it called? What was it called? Something Lakeland Trails.
Yes.
Lakeland Trails.
Yeah.
And there was like running clubs, right? And the girls were like really pretty. And I thought, I need to look the man. I need to look the part. So it went doof. And I remember there's a pretty girl here, and she was off. So I thought, fuck this, I need to show her. So I'm running, right? And I didn't know. I thought, I could probably keep this up. But then there was a hill like that. Once I'd done that one hill, my legs felt like they were jelly. I couldn't feel my legs, right? Then, like, I couldn't breathe. It was, honestly, it was like lifting weights up and down is easy, right? But, like, literally, that was soul-destroying, right? I was at the back, it was like, hello, guys, and people were going, are you all right? And at one point, I pretended to sprain my ankle. I wasn't, I was fucked, right? My muscles
I had a hill,
gone.
Then I had another hill,
Yeah.
Then I had a hill, then I had another hill.
There was another hill. It was just hills. I've not practiced hills either. So, yeah, it wasn't the best.
Me and Ben will trademark that one.
Oh, classic.
But yeah, I was your typical. So what? Probably the you were just probably definitely that clip was. I laughed at myself when I seen because it's a stereotype. You were picking that guy out.
Yeah.
You were stereotyping probably cringy guys like me. They go to the gym. That's not my thing. I've turned up in all the gear. No idea. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly that. I knew that clip warranted it because it was like it was just ridiculous. Whereas I know there's 99.9% of the guys that have that look, and it's just a different story.
No, well, a lot of, some people, I do get it. Like if you're full of tattoos and stuff like that, and there is that stereotype, so I do get it, and some people live up to that. With running as well, I feel that it's become really fashionable, and every person wants like a medal picture with the Oakley sunglasses on, the little vests and the bright trainers. I got that picture. Well, I've just not told them the story behind it. I got
just a request from me. Can we have that for the thumbnail, please?
Yes. I've got it's on my Instagram.
Brilliant.
Was there any, like when you sprinted off at the beginning, was there any part in your brain where you're thinking, I'm doing well here, I'm going to do it.
Literally,
I'm going to win this.
It was just before the hill. So just literally probably the first 300 meters. I was like, I'll slow down later when I've passed this girl, right? But then we hit the hill straight away, and it was that first hill. Once I'd done that, my legs, it felt like I'd done 100 squats. My legs had gone underneath me.
Can you remember where it started? What time was it? Ambleside or?
Yeah, it was literally round Lake Windermere. So it was you set off, and it was like just grass for a while, and then. It was like you could see it. So as soon as you set up, there's a hill.
I think it goes up Lothric.
It probably wasn't that. It probably wasn't that bad of a hill. And I think because I wasn't expecting it.
It is when you're at max effort, mate.
Yeah, and I hammered it right. And then I thought to myself, oh, it must. What must comes up must come down. Nothing went down. And then I was like, and then my leg just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then I just kept getting further back. And then, I looked the part, but I just couldn't.
You had a decent pump on at the finish.
I felt sick. It took me about 2 hours to get. I was like shaking. I was lethargic. I was getting sugars in. And I just thought, wow, like I was white. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And then because I talked about it in the barbershop, you get 10 people in a day cutting hair. Everyone's like, how did you? Because I was like, I'm just training for my race. My race. I wasn't racing anybody, right? How did you do? I was like, pretty good. I didn't go into it. And they're like, he's still running. I'm like, no.
Is that your running career?
Yeah, that's me done.
Losing too much size, mate.
It's not for me. I bought a bike and tried cycling. Same thing happened to me when I did a cycling race. And I thought, you know what? I'll just stick to bodybuilding.
Good on you though, mate. Because like chucking yourself into because that's complete alien. That's like me just going. Right, in 2 months' time, I'm going to get on stage and
start a bodybuilding competition or something. Yeah.
No, but I'm so glad I did it because, like, I've got an experience. Although it wasn't a cool story, as in I won, but I can. When you're talking about running, even though it was nothing like what you guys do, I've got an experience, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great story, and I think as well it makes people appreciate that it is hard as running, and also road running and trail running are totally different things. And then add fell running into the mix as well. They're completely separate. I mean, put me in a 10k sprint or a London marathon tomorrow, I'm dying. I'm really struggling because that's totally different for me. I'll be a fish out of water, and it's the same for you there, isn't it? In that situation, you've done a few 10ks, you're used to running on the road. and then you do something like that.
It's just my fitness. So there's a couple of hills. I thought my legs are muscly. I can do squats. And then I was looking around at my competition before it, and I was thinking, and like literally, the people that were passing me, I think there was a guy, he must have been like the oldest runner ever. Like he had like badges on him and that. Like, you know, he probably goes to all the races, little tiny shorts. He's about 90. He flew past me. I was like,
probably Ted.
Horrible. Yeah, everyone knew him. And then, but at the end of the race, there was a couple of stalls on and drinks, and everyone was chatting to me, and they were like, we're
That's what I was going to say, because you were telling me that like afterwards, actually, it was quite good. Like you got good feedback.
It's a nice community.
That's what I was going to say. They're so nice. They'd come up, they were like, we did have a bit of a laugh, like, but we did say that you were too muscular for this and that you would struggle. We seen you limping, like literally, like, so you were good just to stick it out. I was like, right, thank you. I was thinking, it was so, like, my ego was like, was in the bin, because I generally got there thinking, I hope I get a good time because I can upload my time. This is like driving there thinking that. And then after the first 100 meters, I was thinking, let's just hope I finish. But that's just how I thought of it. But with the guy who you're saying, I can laugh at myself, but I think a person like that, he fits a stereotype and he can't laugh at himself.
No, okay.
So when I watched it, I was like, bloody good on you. Do you know, good on you for doing it. And it is cringy, and like, he needs to start, people need to eat, like, I wouldn't start doing running for a couple of weeks, then start uploading videos of what you should be buying, guys, and giving advice. Like, just concentrate on your running. You probably only need trainers, a comfortable trainer at first. And then people are doing like the couch to 300, and they've got the energy gels, they've got the vest, they've got the trainers. I think that you just
chill out
a bit. I think social media's made people like that. Maybe
we were talking, and I was like, this would be good, like, because when we were beginners, when we were getting into it, I said I had the luxury of making all stupid, daft mistakes. Social media wasn't a thing. I just loved running. Whereas
you could do it privately, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas I said to Danny, I was like, "Is that so?" When he wanted to try running and he wanted to start training, he said that from his point of view, all that stuff is what he needed, because that's what it looked like, what he needed. And he obviously realised that's not maybe what he needed. So for people coming into the sport, whether it's a Danny or anyone, that might be what the impression is that you need. That's
the information you've been fed on social media, isn't it?
You need it. It's expensive, all that stuff, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So when you're just starting out, you think, well, before it, I need one of those vests and those fancy glasses that guy's got. I need a fit check. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, why don't you just start slowly and then get that as when you need it. When you need one of those little energy packs or whatever, what they call the little electrolytes and all that. Like, you running like a 3K, you're not going to need a little straw and a vest, and you're not going to need that yet. Do you know? And I think that people like that make you think that you do. So I found it quite funny, because it's like literally all the gear, no idea. And there's probably guys that are like, take it very seriously. Probably not even got as much stuff as the guy who had it on.
Yeah. Would you go into it again? Would you do another one? Without the pressure and
the thing is, I know what it takes. Like I trained like mad for that.
Did you enjoy the training bit, or was it?
I think So what I do is I get a bit bored of just training, so I need a goal.
Yeah.
So I'll pick up a new sport. What are you into now? Or like, it's bongos at the moment. So sometimes it's not sport. I get into stuff. Like, I'm learning bongos. But it's just, I never get that good. I just get, like, I've done a race now. I've ran a race.
So you tick that one off.
I've got like a cycling.
Are you just trying to do every sport or every?
Yeah, just like I played. I played a rugby game last year, and just keep it.
I almost
fresh.
feel like I'm just giving you another business idea. I feel like there's a YouTube series out of this where you just throwing yourself in these situations. But it could be really funny.
It's not because I'm like an elite athlete and I'm good at them. Like,
no, but that's what makes it good.
That's the entertainment, mate. Yeah.
I just try it, and I'm like, oh god. So like my garage at home, there's a bike there that's got dust on it, because I tried that for a while. Again, I think in my head, I see somebody having fun on Instagram, and I think, I want that happy now. I want a piece of that. And then I do it, and then realise I'm not great at it. But the things I'm good at is I think with bodybuilding, like, it's genetics. So you can't, a lot of the time it's like, I grow muscle easily. Yeah. So I'm good at it, and I'm very strong. So I did powerlifting. And I did well at that, but I only did that once again. Got the little leotard thing, and
just even more niche, that, isn't it? And
yeah. But I do like meeting the different kinds of people. Like, when I went there, got all these proper, like, they've got big bellies and stuff, and again, they judged me. Like, they're all looking at me, and then I my bench press is, I did 185 in competition.
Yeah.
So they split you up into like heavy lifters and like light lifters to warm up with, and I was like the heavy lifter, and because I don't look the way, and it was my first comp, the guys were like, "Oh, you're warming up." This is the best bit about the day. Warming up in this big guy was like, "You're warming up in the wrong area," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm warming up in the right area," and he was quite rude about it. And then so I went plate for plate, and he like kept looking. And like literally, I warmed up too much because he put another plate on, and I just did it just to prove him wrong. And that was the best bit of the day, just proving that guy wrong. But yeah, I enjoyed that. But again, I was a newbie to that, and I think that people in sport, I think they're very respectful people. And running was probably that was the nicest day because it was like my mum, my nana. There was the young lads as well, young girls. No, they're all coming over.
Bravado,
and there was, I don't think there was a stereotype. I couldn't stereotype people because there was.
Yeah,
it's almost the other way. I think it's in even fell running, which is even more niche. You'll turn up to a race, and like you said, an 80-year-old can beat a 40-year-old on something like that, and you look at people and you think, how are they going to get up there? And they'll be one of the best runners you can ever imagine. Yeah, it's
like a middle-aged woman that looks middle-aged, even a shape. She was a beast. There was two of them. How the hell? I would never have thought they could even run to the bottom of the road. They flew past me, and I was like, wow, respect! Like so much respect for these people that you judge.
The thing is, everyone hangs around a bit at the finish line and everything. They probably like the fact that they've seen you finish, because I can guarantee there'll be people that have been in a similar situation that have binned it off, or they'll have walked off and walked back to the car.
Or even I had to drag myself. I would have I had to finish it. Well, in my head, I wanted to win it at first, but then it was just to get myself over that finish line. But yeah, it was dead nice meeting everybody as well. Everyone was like giving me like loads of tips, and it wasn't like they were like laughing at me. They were like laughing with me. They were laughing at me.
Yeah.
But it was a good, and they were like, "Oh, keep coming back, come back, try another one." And yeah, it was a nice community. It was in summer as well, so yeah, it was a good day out.
What are your plans like to get this out there? You like obviously social media is important, but going to events and things, not necessarily running, but is that part of the plan maybe?
Yeah, because
I think you'd be great meeting people and just.
Yeah, I've done 2 expos.
Yeah,
so that was really good. So weird. So an expo, a bodybuilding expo, everyone knows who you are. So it's like everyone's wanting a picture with you. Like I felt like
celebrity.
Yeah,
it's like
Cruise.
Ben at the National.
I was just going to say it's like Gary at the National Running Show.
Oh, so when you go there, it was like, because I've seen you on. Oh yeah. So can I get a picture? Oh, watch all your stuff.
It's really weird because it's not like if I walk into Tesco, it obviously doesn't happen. But if I walk into the National Running Show,
yeah, you're a celebrity.
It does happen.
That's your scene, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really it is quite overwhelming, and I enjoy it all. But at the same time, it's draining me, isn't it? Yeah.
God, my friend didn't understand. Like sometimes I kept hiding back, having a moment, and my mate was like, "Get yourself out of here, get yourself." And I was like
"I'll put money into this. Get out of here!"
Like shoot, like performing monkey. Okay. But I was like it was exhausting, and then because you want people to think highly of you as well. Yeah. So every interaction and
you want to make it a good one, don't you?
Yeah, they're ringing the mate up. Go on, but it's hard. Like now, I've put myself out there on nights out. It's tough for me because you'll get like drunken guys. They get you in headlocks. Say it, and I'm like, mate, I don't want to say it. I'm like, fish on a rice cake, but it's like quite like big steadheads and stuff going. Come over, you the fish. Yeah, mate, yeah. Like put my thumb up and like, come over here, yeah. And then you're like, oh, I really don't want it. And then they've got you in a headlock, sweating on you, and you're like, this isn't good. But I embrace it more when you go to the expo. They're a bit more, and they're buying my products, and then they're following you, and it's getting brand recognition. So then now we're just selling off a website, but we're in talks with pickers at supermarkets. So then that's the next stage. So we've done a year of getting it out there, and the next stage is getting in shops, and we're in a couple of garages which we deliver ourselves and gyms, but doing it properly.
I'm looking forward to seeing where
it can go.
It goes, mate. Yeah, I am. Honestly, it's been really interesting talking to you today, hasn't it? That's been
it's been brilliant.
It's been a great episode. I wasn't sure where it'd go this, but it's been brilliant. Good getting to know you as well, Danny. So thanks for making the journey over, mate. Because I've really enjoyed this episode.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed
Fantastic, hasn't it? So maybe, we'll check back in on you in say 12 months' time and see where you're at.
I'll have a suit on.
Yeah.
I'll be too good for this podcast. We're going to Joe Rogan or something.
It's a good job we're going on now, isn't it? Joking, not joking.
I'll sign him up to another race just to bring him down a bit.
Brilliant.
No, they're genuinely nice though, and like I said, that's
you.
coming from someone who doesn't like rice cakes. So you've got, go and check them out. It's actually good. I know it's a bit of an advert, but for runners, they're actually good snacks and everything. Yeah.
The white chocolate one's got more sugar in, so if you need like a
hit,
good, and the calories are low. So
I think running show next year, national running show. I think you should get yourself a stand there.
Yeah,
and
they do well actually.
Yeah, I think they go well. Definitely.
Yeah.
That could
Speak to you another
branch out
time,
into-
mate. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, thanks, Danny, for your
thank
time.
you.
Thanks for coming, and I'm sure everybody listening to this will agree. It's been a brilliant episode as this. So
Thank you.
thanks a lot. And without further ado, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Is that a...
That's Ben's little thing, mate.
Oh, is that your thing?
Started, I've got to keep it going.
Does he
now.
know?
Yeah.
I got you.
You want that one, don't you?
He's booked into for a trim he has.
Love that. That was class. No, thanks, mate. I was honestly absolutely class. Absolutely class.